You're Drake's shooter. You're Drake's goon. You're Drake's guy who does things for him. No, we're not gonna give you a fucking deal. Are you kidding me?
Okay. I could see
Mm-mm.
that.
Nah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he
I
got a
mean, they
point.
did it for
Maybe if he lived
they
in
did it for
if
Waka
Drake
Flocka.
lived in the U if Drake lived in the US and he was a US citizen, I would probably think a little differently. But because he's Canadian and they abide by the things that they do, nah, I'll never see that happening.
Mm. What up, Twan? What were you gonna say?
But, no, I just was saying, I think it's really more because top five just not good. He's not a good artist. If he was a good enough artist, they would definitely give him a deal. They gave Waka Flocka a deal, and he was definitely a known killer, a known shooter
Mm,
for Gucci Man. He top five just isn't good enough. He's corny.
didn't even think about that.
And that's why I said that too. He's not good.
That
Noted.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, fellas. Well, we'll table that for the moment, but we got to start the show. So, welcome everybody to Bar Exam. I'm Allie, and I'm here with the Bar Exam crew and an extra special guest as well. So, say hello, guys, to Antoine, who's joining us today. What's up, Antoine?
How y'all doing? How everybody's doing? I'm doing well.
What's up? What's up? And then we also have Eric G and Shane G in the building. What's up, fellas?
What
What
up?
up? What up, gang? All right, guys. So we're going to be discussing all the current events that happened this week. Coming before the bar today, we are going to be talking about the biggest protests in U.S. history, No King's Day. We're also going to be discussing a freestyle revival from Funk Flex and Rum Nitty. Among other ones, but that was the one that we wanted to highlight. And then we're also going to be talking about, the Bow Wow and Jay Z debate that's been going around online lately. And last but absolutely not least, we're going to be talking about the real story behind DMX's Party Up. So let's get on into it. Now, oh, we also need to do a special mention to someone that we lost as well along the way. Ananda Lewis passed away, and it was from cancer, from what I understand. And it's really tragic because she was one of the first hosts on BET that really spoke to the teenage audience of the time. And she really paved a way for a lot of other people to, to come through and be hosts themselves, especially people of color. So we definitely wanted to talk about her a little bit. And I'm actually going to throw it over to Shane because he knows a little bit more about it because he was quite the fan.
Yeah, definitely growing up watching her. I remember being in elementary school, being in middle school, coming home, like you said, watching her on, I think she was on MTV and BET at different points. She was one of the original like VJs that I remember, being, smart, attractive, introducing the music. She was fly, you know what I mean? Had the dope interviews with, different artists who would come on TV, stuff like that. Um, so I just always remember her being associated with, that the time where you rushed home after school because you wanted to know what the countdown was gonna be. You know what I mean? Like she was kind of like free from AJ and free before free. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's just, I didn't even know she had breast cancer, but that takes a lot of our ladies out. I think the numbers are higher amongst black women, so I just want everybody out there to make sure that getting your checkups, make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Because she was in her 50s, you know what I mean? Like that's pretty young to pass. So rest in peace to Ananda Lewis. Condolences to her friends and family. And you know, y'all make sure that y'all in the VJ game and the hosting game, you know what I mean, make sure that you do her honor and her legacy right.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that it is important to note that, yeah, like we all need to be out there getting our screenings. This is no slight to her whatsoever, but people did have comments about how when she found out about it, she was opposed to certain type of treatments. Like she wasn't into chemotherapy. The reason that she didn't even know that she had breast cancer for a while was because she really didn't like believe in too much of like Western medicine. So she ended up finding out she had breast cancer because she did a self-examination, which we all, everybody should do no matter what it is, But I just think that it's important to note that, yeah, like, you know, maybe if someone else out there is watching this, maybe if they go to the doctor sooner rather than avoid it or for whatever reason, maybe you might be able to catch it sooner. So yeah, we definitely lost a really important person, and it's sad because you're right, she was so young, so it's like in a way people are kind of like, dang, we was is it avoidable, was it avoidable?
Yeah, I mean, it is avoidable. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily avoidable getting cancer.
Right.
Um, that part unfortunately doesn't always. You can't always avoid that, but the treatments. I understand a lot of people don't fuck with Western medicine and all that kind of stuff, and I understand. But it does work. Like that's not the problem with it. You know what I mean? Like the shit works. Um, it's expensive. They price gouge us.
Yeah.
All of those things are problems, but the shit does work. And if you're Ananda Lewis, I imagine you can afford the medicine. So don't be
I don't
stubborn with your
know.
health, people. Do the herbs and do the natural stuff too, but also go to the doctor and do what they
Yeah.
say. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're sending out prayers to her family and her friends. And yeah, I just hope that everybody takes it as a really important lesson to check in on your health, no matter what it is, especially if you know you have it in your family, because she did have a history in her family, unfortunately. So you definitely have to be on high alert if that's the case. Now switching gears a little bit, there's a lot that happened. I mean, I'm sure that we want to talk about the No King's Day protests just a little bit, because I mean, it was the biggest protest in all of American history, from what they're saying anyway. They're saying that an estimated 4 to 6 million people participated in it across the United States. There was about 2,100 US cities that decided to join in on this. And it was also interesting because it lined up with Trump's 79th birthday and the US Army's 205th anniversary. So it was a lot going on all at once. But people decided to take to the streets to um, protest against what they believe to be authoritarianism or a dictatorship coming from the Trump administration. So how did you guys feel about it? Did you get into it? Did you see anything?
I was out there, but I'll let the others speak on it first.
I
Um,
uh
oh, go ahead, Swan.
I saw it on TV. I didn't really pay much attention. To be completely honest, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm kind of more worried about the issues of African Americans. Like like that's kind of my focus. Like I get it. I don't like to see anybody treated unjustly, but you know, the few protests that I've been to in my life when it pertained to things of my melanated people, I didn't see a lot of others there. And I'm not saying that I'm mad at anybody who supported those people. More power to them. Just me personally, I'm trying to worry about the things within my community and getting my shit together. Like that's just the truth. Like more power to them, and I definitely pray to the Most High because I don't like nobody getting treated unjustly. But when it comes to whether I was really into it, I don't want to get up here and lie. I wasn't.
Okay.
Like I wasn't.
That's fair. I mean, and you're not the only one. I saw a lot of people have mixed emotions about it online. Eric, what about you? What did you see?
I definitely saw the out outcry of people that basically led up until this point. Like we kind of knew um that these protests were kind of coming just because
Hmm.
of the buildup of just the different things that Trump has been doing and that the administration's been doing over the past several months. So I think we kind of like felt like something like this was almost like a pressure cooker, like something like this was bound to happen.
Hmm.
I'm really happy that people are out there standing up for their rights and what they believe in. And, really, honestly, like for the most part, I pretty much side with the protesters. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty much on the side of if nobody is doing anything to harm anybody, they're not harming anybody in their family, they're not harming any of their like mutual like coworkers or mutual just people around them or just anything like that. Like as long as they're just being a productive member of society, then leave them alone.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and then that's
You know what I
what's
mean? Like
interesting.
it seems so simple to put it like that, but it really is that
Yeah.
simple. Just leave them alone.
I mean, and that's what's interesting is because a lot of people before Trump came into office, a lot of people were warning that, okay, we understand you want to get, if, you want to get people who have come here illegally out of the country. The only thing is that if you are blanketly just taking everyone out, then you're also not just taking away criminals, you're also taking away people who are vital to certain industries, like agriculture, like hospitality. I mean, the list goes on, but those are the major ones. And so that's why I think it's so interesting that a lot of economists warned him, besides it being a social issue, they warned him that this was going to be a bad economic move. He did it anyway, and then now he's also seeing not just the regular everyday person upset about this. He's also seeing a lot of the people who are holding a lot of lobby money for him, calling him up and being like, you just obliterated like half my workforce, if not more. So yeah, I just am like, I don't understand. It's funny. It's
I think
actually interesting to see him now reverse what he's saying, because now he's doing interviews talking about, we were a little bit overzealous and we have gotten rid of a lot of really good people. And now there's criminals signing up for their jobs that have been left behind. It's just like, all right, buddy. So yeah, I think this protest was in multiple ways. I think it was very impactful, and I think that he's getting hit from both directions. So the protest, I think, is effective in some way.
Oh yeah. And I think
yeah.
while
I
I
personally,
understand, oh go ahead. Go ahead, Twan.
I was just saying, like, I actually look at things a little differently because I know a lot of these people and politicians are such strategists and they be 10 steps ahead. And to me, this is just part of their plan. Like, to me, eliminating hard labor workforce is nothing but a gateway for Tesla and their robots. Like, literally, this is all part of the plan to me. It's like, hey, the American people don't want these jobs that the immigrants wanted. So let's introduce these robots that Elon Musk has already said he's built millions of them. Like, it's just part of the
Never even thought of
process to
that.
me.
Yeah. I mean, mm, mm, I don't even disagree with that necessarily. Um, I could see that being part of a bigger plan or part of a bigger play for sure. Um, I was gonna say more while I understand Twan's sentiment as far as we got to focus on us first, and there's not necessarily a lot of people who support our causes, even though we jump out to support everybody else's. I understand that sentiment, but I look at it like this: if they're able to get away with it with certain groups, it's only a matter of time before they do it to us. So if you can kick Hispanic people who are from here, you know what I mean? Like let's if we want to go back historically, You know what I'm saying? Arizona, California, New Mexico, Texas, all of that was Mexico. We took that from them. You know what I'm saying? So they are home. So, but if we're gonna
Well,
say no, like you guys got to go back to Mexico and do all of that, it's only a matter of time before they try to round up every black person and send us back to Africa when we're not from
I'm
Africa.
that
Just like a lot of Hispanic
that
people ain't from
but
Mexico or El Salvador
that's
or all
kind
these
of
other places.
that's kind of the point I'm making, Shane. You know me and you talk about this all the time. Like at the
Yeah.
end of the day, there's a lot of melanated people that are indigenous to America. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like some people were already here, and I don't even like, getting on that because that's not the point of like the topic. But I'm a math person, and it's like when they say the trans slave brought 5-6 million Africans to America, and it took a ship 9 months to get here. The basic math based on ships' capacity said it would have took 200 years to get all them people over here. So common sense
Mm-hmm.
tells you melanated people were already over here. But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, I'm not against anything with the immigrants and the Latin people. More power to them. I'm just more focused on fixing the issues within my personal community because I have a daughter that's 100% African American. And I'm worried
True.
about her needs and who give a shit about her. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't really see other races protesting when black people get killed innocently. I don't really see all that. I don't really see an uproar when Trayvon Martin get killed or the young lady in Louisville got killed. So I'm sorry, me personally, I just want to focus more on my people. Like I'm not knocking you or anybody else who want to focus with everybody else because I'm all about unity. But at the same time, it's like I can't personally worry about cutting somebody else's grass and my shit high as hell. Like
Mm,
I'm trying to fix what we got going on.
yeah. I don't think anyone is upset with that stance. I think that it's hard because it's kind of like we don't exactly have the luxury because I do believe in the thinking of like if they do it to one community, they will do it to all of us. I mean, so when Black people even started the civil rights movement, I mean, we basically weren't just carrying ourselves. We were also carrying like, indigenous people, we were carrying Asians, we were carrying Hispanics. I mean, we were carrying trans
You're
people, we were carrying gay people. I mean, we weren't just opening the door for ourselves.
you're
And so that's why I'd say, like, I'm not saying that it's supposed to be that way. Like, we're supposed to be the ones who always have to do it. But I do think that
that's but that's
it,
I was gonna say
it
that's
is
Twan's point. I
impactful. I know.
think.
And I get that.
that's kind
Yeah.
that's kind of my point. Like
But what I'm
so
saying
many
is like
people
it's not because we were
benefited.
doing it on purpose. I'm saying that like if you open
No, no,
those
no, we wasn't.
floodgates, it opens it for everyone and not just your community, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
So if
and
they
I agree with
win this, then in a way, it's like we're also protecting ourselves and our interests and our community because you're not going to go trample on them. And then, you know what I mean? Like,
I agree, but this is where I slightly disagree. Slightly
okay,
is if it was the opposite, I don't think we would be seeing support. If they were trying to literally deport African Americans right now, I don't
and
think you
that's
would
what's
be
hard.
seeing the outward support from Latinos and all these other races. You
Yeah,
wouldn't be seeing it.
yeah,
You would not be seeing it because the point I'm making is I'm sorry. Everybody needs to thank the civil rights movement because so many people benefited from the atrocities that were done to African American people. And I don't never hear nobody like, oh, thank the civil rights movement for this. Like you
yeah,
said,
you're right.
white people, women, trans people, all these people benefited from the laws that were passed because of civil rights. And you think they would be like, well, damn, let's help these people. Where is the help for us?
Yeah, I agree. No, you got a good point for sure. But I'm hoping either way that this does cause something, like whether between our communities, but within our own communities, to show that at least like coming out and protesting or standing up or you know what I mean, uniting is really what it's about. Because in the end, there's more of us than there are of them. It's just basic math. And so it's like I'm glad that at least people reminded him of that, of like, okay, yeah, you can have your parade or whatever. They said there was supposed to be like 200,000 people who were supposed to show up. I don't even think he got close to that. I think they said it was only
Less
like
than a
enough.
hundred.
Yeah, it was like a very, very small batch. They said they think it was around 1,000, if that. And then across the country, I mean, people were going crazy. So in LA, it was 200,000 ish estimated. Philly, it was 100,000. Seattle, an estimated 70,000. Shane, you said you went. So what was your
Yeah.
experience where you're
It
at?
was so I was in Mesa, but every city around Phoenix had their own protest set up. So there was one in Tempe, there was one in Phoenix, there was one in Chandler, there was one in Mesa. I went to the one in Mesa, and I was out there for probably like 2 hours, and it was all love like the whole time. It was a lot of white people out there. It was a couple of us. There's, it was representative, I'd say, of the population. So there weren't a lot of us, but there's not a lot of us out here. But it was tight. It was tight. Like everybody was out there passing out waters and passing out popsicles and, just showing each other love. And, it's sad that it seems like it always takes something extreme to sort of bring a bunch of different people of different backgrounds and all that type of shit together. But I do like it when I see it though, because it does show that it's not just us against everybody else. Like there are people of all these different backgrounds or whatever who do want to do the right thing. And I saw the similar things during COVID when the Black Lives Matter protests were popping off because I was outside for those too, and it was sort of the same thing, at least here. You know what I mean? Like I can't speak for everywhere, but definitely here, there was it was people of all different backgrounds, all marching for the same cause. So, I was happy to see it. There weren't really any trolls or counter protesters or nothing like that. The police didn't get out of control with nobody, wasn't no fights, nothing like that. Um, a little bit in Tempe, I heard, but not where I was at. So, and it was deep. Like you can see the video because I live streamed it. So anybody, watching this, feel free to go check that out. Um, but it was deep, like every
Yeah.
corner, because it was, all four corners at an intersection were packed out, like hundreds
Yeah.
of people probably on each corner. So
Right.
it
That's
was it,
amazing.
it was a good turnout. It was dope.
That's good. And I really hope that because the only thing about these situations that I hope that people remember is like I want you guys to come out like this for like policies, for like, like when it comes to voting. Like we need to see people thick as fuck outside like that on voting day. I need to see you motherfuckers wrapping around blocks and shit. So that's the one thing. I hope that we all remember that we're supposed to have this solidarity. So next time we go to the voting booths, like we get it together a little bit better, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. So that's what I'm hoping. But I think that it has helped. I'm hoping that it will and continues to help public sentiment about what's going on right now, and that we can all kind of like look at each other and be like, okay, we all agree like this is fucking wild, and we none of us agree with this, and so we're gonna show up. We're gonna call our politicians. We're going to call our senators, our representatives. I mean, I called mine. So I just want people to remember like, you can call them. They do take notes. They do store it. So you can absolutely hold them accountable,
Yeah.
you know?
And you have to, because
And
they do
yeah.
respond to pressure. That's the thing about it. They do
Hmm.
actually respond to pressure. It's just that they don't get pressured a lot. They get pressure from
Exactly.
the people above them, they money and stuff, but they respond to public pressure too.
Hello. Exactly. So yeah. But yeah, but it sounds like we'll see some more. I'm sure we'll see some more protests in the future, but this was the biggest one. So
Oh yeah.
we'll see what happens next. But all right, guys, so let's talk about some lighter stuff. Okay, we got all the politics out of the way. Let's talk about okay, do we want to talk about the Funk Flex resurgence of the freestyle, of his freestyle, or do we want to talk about the Bow Wow Jay Z debate, which I'm shocked is even a
Jay
debate.
Z. I
Go
like
Bow Wow Jay
I
Z
was,
first.
Let's do it. Okay. All right. So for some reason, there's this viral debate going around that is between like Bow Wow and Jay-Z. So I guess music exec Ray Daniels is talking on a podcast. And so this clip went viral of him claiming that Bow Wow in his early, in the early 2000s when he peaked, that apparently he eclipsed Jay-Z's cultural impact at around the same age. So I don't know. It feels almost like apples to oranges. It seems like I guess they're comparing peaks.
yeah. When I saw it, I thought he was just saying like at Bow Wow's peak that he was bigger than Jay Z. Like from when I
Yeah.
lived, that's what I thought. And I actually think on this particular topic, two things can be right. Um, Culturally, in the culture of hip hop, I think Jay Z was bigger than Bow Wow, just culturally and like the things he was able to do. And when he told people to stop wearing jerseys and put on button ups, and people did it and like changing people's thought process. But peak stardom is not even close. Bow Wow is way bigger than Jay Z. Like it's not
Wow. So you agree
way.
with the sentiment?
Listen here, I've been to Jay Z and I saw Jay Z in the mall when I was about 15, and I saw Bow Wow in the mall when I was 12. One caused the mall to get shut down, the other one didn't. The first
Eric,
Mm.
caused the
isn't that
mall
the
That
to
was
shut
the
exact
down.
argument that I
exact
made?
same thing
Bow
that
Wow
Shane said to me.
at his peak was bigger than Jay Z because
That
Wow.
look
is
at his
literally
fans.
the argument I made.
And here's
His
the thing,
fans.
I really had to think about what they were saying in the argument because when I
Okay.
first heard the argument, I was thinking around the same thoughts that Twan was thinking. I thought that they were just talking about cultural impact. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, it's Jay-Z. Like, what are we even talking about? Then I had to really sit down and think about what he actually said. And what he was talking about was the impact of when they were at their peak as far as just on their run when they were at their most popular. And when you really sit down and think about it, yeah, Jay
It's
Z couldn't go anywhere and shut down a mall,
it's
shut
when you
down a club, like shut down. Like there were certain places that Jay Z could go, and he would be able to shut it down, no doubt about it. Let's not act like that's not a thing. Like there were certain places where Jay could go to where if he stepped out, whole block is getting shut down. Whereas Bow Wow,
That was everywhere.
there weren't many places in the country, period, where he could go to where it
Everywhere
wasn't
with
getting
Bow
shut
Wow.
down. Yeah,
yeah.
If he
Damn.
went to Disney World, it's
To
getting
me,
shut down. He goes to the mall, it's getting shut down. He goes to the
to me,
movies, the movie theaters getting shut down. Like
My
Bow Wow
question.
couldn't go in public at all.
But do you think it has to
to
do
me,
with their audiences though? Like
Yes.
what
yeah,
absolutely,
for
you
sure.
absolutely.
know what I mean? Like I feel like the kids are willing to go to the mall, go crazy, scream their head off. So people gotta be like, all right, we gotta shut this bitch down. Whereas like Jay-Z's crowd, they're at work. They can't just
But
be like,
That's a fact, but we also have
100%.
to look at it. We have to look at the time frame that they were both active in, though,
okay.
and that's one of that was another main thing for me is they were both when they were both active, they were around each other's orbit around the same time. And
Hmm.
when I say that they were still making music, still both super popular, and still doing things at a high level around that point, around the same time. Like when Bow Wow was super popping, it's not like Jay Z was in his like Black Album era to where he was like starting to chill. You know what I mean? Like he was still putting out albums. He was still very heavily involved. He was still doing a lot of shit. So you
but
got to look at the era too in when they were popping and even in
and
the eras. Like you could compare the two, and Bow Wow was just getting shit more shut down than Jay was. Even
he was
you
just
can even look at their tours.
he was just bigger. And as one of the biggest Jay Z fans there is, like Jay Z is one of my top three rappers of all time. Jay Z didn't even really get hot until his second or third album.
Right.
People wasn't on Jay-Z after Reasonable Doubt like that. Bow Wow was a superstar from song number one.
Yep.
He was so much of a, think about this. He was so much of a superstar. He made his competition, Little Romeo, who was nowhere near as good, he was a superstar just because competition with Bow Wow.
True. Very true.
And then
Let's
on
not
top of
forget,
that,
Bow Wow had his own movie by the time that but
Exactly.
he had like Mike around this time.
Oh yeah.
You
I
know what I
forgot
mean?
all
Like
about that
Bow
shit.
Wow was everywhere.
He was.
People are really tripping. Like, think about when Bow Wow would go on 106 in Park or TRL Live. It was
They
shut
fucking
down.
created it. They fucking created 106 in part for him, apparently. So I mean, just
And
insane.
obviously, Bow Wow having an adolescent female fan base compared to Jay-Z speaking to hustlers, it is a little different. But it still does the fact that at their peak, if you said tickets go on sale for Jay-Z and Bow Wow shit would sell out faster. Flat out.
and I think
His shit will be sold out.
that goes into Allie's point though, because I want to speak on that because I think it's 100% that. I think it's the difference in audience because with Bow Wow, you got to think, yeah, you got the little kid audience, you know, because I was 13 when Bow Wow came out, so we was fucking with him. We the same age, but so you have that, you have all the girls that was my age, all the middle school girls, all the elementary school girls. Okay, they all love them too. Cool, but quiet as it's kept. This may sound creepy, but it is what it is. You have that older like auntie effect. You know, the aunties that come around and be like, oh, you're going to be something when you grow up, and they pinch your cheeks and they get a little flirty with you like them. He had that audience too. So he has the high school girls, he has the 20-year-old chicks who probably are using their little sister as the excuse to go to the concert, but
you're making my point. No matter
you know
which
what I
way,
mean? So
no
there's
matter
a
which
giant
way,
audience that he has.
Bow Wow had a bigger audience than Sean
for
Carter.
Sure.
Yeah. But what's
Whereas I was
crazy to
telling Eric,
me,
I was like, niggas didn't even start listening to Jay-Z until damn near high school because we didn't understand that shit. We didn't know what he was talking about, like before high school, or, you know, unless he was out there early. But aside from that, like, most niggas didn't listen to Reasonable Doubt and understand it until they was older.
yeah. But do you think that that because of Jay-Z's audience, he had the longevity? Like it does seem like Bow Wow had the audience, he had the viral moments, he had the exposure, but now we're looking down, to hindsight, we're looking at, comparing their careers now, nowhere near the same. So like, do you think that that has to do with, audience, or maybe is it just like strategy? Because I mean, obviously Jay-Z is
That's
a,
no,
businessman.
that's audience, because this is this simple. There's not many child stars who turn into adult stars. People grow up and then they kind of had an icks about what they used to be into as kids. Like, oh man, and then the truth of the matter is when you come into a industry like rap and you're making these super poppy kid songs, nobody want to hear you as an adult cussing. Like the transition be too extreme. Like a lot of people just can't deal with that. Like, oh man, you little Bow Wow.
Right.
So you take
We're
the
going to
little,
always look at you like you're that 14-year-old kid.
yeah, like you're little Bow Wow. And then even when he took the little off and he's Bow Wow, it's like people just like, oh man, this ain't what Sean Carter dropped his first album. He was 27. He was grown as ever. So his audience either grew with him or they was his age and they still age with him. So he didn't have to deal with I went through puberty and I ain't feeling Bow Wow no more and this and that. It's like his audience was his audience. He was already talking very mature things, very adult things like hustling and getting to some money and taking care of your family. So his longevity was built in more. Unfortunately, child entertainers, that's just a big part of the process. It's rare that they transition over because it's just tough. because
You
people
could
just
do
look
it more in
like,
pop, I think, but it's way harder to do it in hip hop because we've seen it in pop multiple times.
yeah, I
I
mean,
think
yeah, Chris Brown, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
all of the NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears. You can argue
Ariana
she has
Grande,
problems, but she's still out here. Uh, yeah, Ariana
Sabrina
Grande,
Carpenter. She was on Disney.
Christina Aguilera
Even look
from
at
our
Bow Wow
time.
now. It took him a long time to transition to a point to because remember a couple of years in the 2010s, Bow Wow was wilding on social media,
Well, and
and
that's
we
what
were
I was
all
Mm,
gonna
looking at
say.
and we were all looking at him like he was kind
that's
of
true.
we were all looking at him like he was awful. We were looking at Bow Wow like, oh man, Bow Wow going through something.
Well,
That's
that's what I was
true.
gonna say. Like, I think it's harder in hip hop because hip hop is centered around certain things. For the mainstream hip hop, I'll say, is centered around certain things, and one of those things is the streets. And Bow Wow can never say anything street ever because you've been famous since you were 13, and we know you've been rich this whole time, and there wasn't any thugging going on before that. So you're already limited on what you can realistically rap about because you were a child star. All you can rap about is being at the club and relationship shit and like stunting. That's it. You can't rap about, you know what I mean? Like you're so limited on the subject matter because your life was in front of
and
the cameras.
and I'm gonna
So
be
it's like, you know what I mean? Like you can't really grow up in a sense. Like whereas Jay-Z was 27 when Reasonable Doubt came out. Like he was damn near 30 when his
absolutely.
first album came out.
But part of the issue is honestly the type of music Bow Wow made as a child. He made very commercial pop music because obviously with my family, I'm from Detroit, but all my family's from Louisiana. The first tape I ever heard of Lil Wayne, he was 10.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a
Oh.
child star who grew into a mega star. But even at 10, 11 years old, 13 years old, Lil Wayne was still rapping. Even though he wasn't cussing, he was rapping on very adult themed songs.
Right,
Right.
right,
Whereas Bow Wow was not. Everything that he was doing, it was even if even if like the exact song wasn't centered around like some young shit or something like that, like that's always what would come out.
Mhm.
Like it would always be some young, fun theme type music that like middle school kids could fuck with, high school kids could fuck with, like it's the same that Shane said, like every demographic essentially could fuck with it.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And to pivot, having an 8-year-old daughter, a little Bow Wow is absolutely missing in 2025. Like
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
there's nobody who wants to be a kid and rap kid shit. Like
Right.
that is like insane to me. Like all the little rappers that's 12, 13 are rapping about shooting and having sex, and it's ridiculous. Like there are no little Bow Wows or little Romeos or um what was them niggas' names? I forgot the name of that group, but them group of like the
NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
the black ones, the B2K and
Oh
all the
yeah.
type of guys. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's none of that, and that's disheartening because I do have an 8-year-old daughter. So it's like, and I do love music and I do love hip hop, and it's like I can't even really play the music. Like I have to either put it on 955, a pop station, or I have to put it on Kids Bop, which does kids renditions of all the popular songs. So I just
right.
think it's encouraging too that the people that run music are promoting little, like I forget the kid's name in Atlanta, and more power to him. I never speak bad on the melanated young man, but it was very disheartening that 10, 11-year-old kid from Atlanta who he went viral like last year. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I forgot that kid's name, but it was like he was like 10 years old and he was rapping the most ridiculous shit. And it's like, first of all, who is this audience? Second of all, who believes in it is shit. And what adult is rapping? Who's writing this for this kid? And
Mm.
I don't know, man. I just hate degenerate shit. That's
But
just
I've
me.
seen that. I've seen that on Twitter, like where dudes who dudes I know, like one dude I know. I'm not even gonna say dudes. There's one guy I know who I caught him on Twitter one day, and it might not have been the same kid that you're talking about, but it was a kid, and he reposted him, and he was rapping, and it was a bunch of adult shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was clearly somebody, either an adult wrote it for him, or this little kid that spent entirely too much time hanging out with adults and listening to adult music and stuff because the patterns were perfect, the rhythms were there, like the shit he was saying, it sounded like an adult wrote it. And so, most of the comments were kind of dissing, like, yo, this isn't good and blah blah blah, that type of thing. Like this is not a good thing that we should be praising.
Watch what you about
And
to say. I know what you about to say. Go ahead.
And he was like, man, y'all tripping. If that was my son, I'd put all my money behind this little nigga, blah, blah, blah. Like, he going crazy, blah,
And,
blah, blah. I'd be so proud. Like, that was the sentiment
and
of
that
his.
and
So I
that's
know
the point
exactly what
right
you're
there,
talking
Sean.
about.
It's too many black men and women justify too much fuck lame shit because of money. That's the only reason he's saying he would put his money behind his son doing that degenerate shit, because he think he would make more money. It's
Yeah.
too many black people in our culture who sells out the fucking culture for money. It don't matter if you a prostitute. If you make money, it's cool. It don't matter if you a rat. If you make money, it's cool. It don't matter what you sell into our community. If it make money, it's cool. And that shit lame. None of that shit cool. Like, a little kid should be a fucking kid, because at the end of the day,
Right.
being a black man is hard enough. He don't need to speed that process up. Go be a
Right.
little boy.
Yeah,
A
I think I
thousand
That's
percent.
saw
real.
I think I saw a story like a couple of months ago. And I don't even know if this is the same kid who y'all are talking about. It's probably not. But I saw a video of Young Thug's son dissing Gunna in a rap song that he made. And it was like, why are you even doing that?
Right.
You know,
Why?
like, you know, it's like
Right.
that's something that you don't even understand. Like you're like 12, 13. You shouldn't even really understand what a snitch is yet.
Yeah. And you should not be in grown man's beef. The fuck?
Yeah, you shouldn't be in grown men's beef. You shouldn't be like egging on like the
Wow.
opposition and their kids or whatever else. Like
Yeah.
it's weird.
That
Go,
is
go
weird.
outside and be a kid. Go to school.
Yeah.
Why are you worrying about your
Seriously.
dad? Why are you worrying about your dad's beef? Weird.
It,
For real.
it's social media, because I know what you're talking about, and then Young Thug had addressed it and, like, I guess basically, chastised his son and, like, really went off about it. Um, but unfortunately, with social media, kids get caught up in the hype of a lot of stuff because they don't really understand reality. You know what I mean? That's why you see a lot of these young men. I never call them YNs, because that's a whole nother topic. But it's like you see so many of these young men, like, get caught up in this, like, war and this shoot 'em up shit, because they don't think it's real. They think this shit is like GTA.
Right.
They don't
And
really
that,
get it. Like, bro, people are really dying. Like, if you
for
pull
real.
that trigger and kill somebody, somebody could really die, and you're really going to jail for a very long time. But I just feel like there's been a separation of reality because of social media. And I'm 40 years old, so I don't really get the social media. And maybe because I didn't grow up with social media, it doesn't have the same effect on me, because I be literally asking younger people who I see do ridiculous shit on social media. And I'd be like, you did that and you get that type of dopamine release off a like. I don't really get it. I
Right.
I'm not even being funny. I just don't understand it.
Well, I
Like,
think it's I think we, because, and I don't mean this to be funny, I mean this to be real. We went outside. Like, and when I say that, I mean like when you had to approach a girl, you had to approach her potentially with a notebook and a pen and get her phone number. So that means you had to speak to her in her face. You know what I'm saying? Like when you wanted to go
Absolutely.
to your friends' houses, we ain't have cell phones. So we had to ride our bike and go knock on people's door and see if they were home, meaning you had to talk to their parents. So there's a certain level of respect that you just have because there's a chance I'm going to end up talking to your mom today because I want to play with you. So I got to be on point. You know what I'm saying? Or there's
Absolutely.
just certain things that came with being in person that have been lost because this
Of
is
technology.
the first couple of generations that like grew up. Like, really think about this. There are people who literally from day one have grown up on Facebook. And I mean, their baby pictures are taken and put on social media the day they're born. That means they don't, there's literally not a day where they weren't on social media in a literal sense. Maybe they didn't have their own profile, but their picture was up on social media already. So just think about that. Like, we had Black Planet and shit like that later on. We didn't grow up with it. Like that came later. And then it was MySpace and Facebook and all the extra shit. These kids are growing up from day one with all of it. They're on Instagram. There's a pro wrestler that me and Eric watches. He's 20 years old. And if you go back old enough on his mom's Instagram account, his baby pictures are on there
Well,
from before she was part of the thing and everything. Back when she was just regular, when she was just a regular mom who had a kid that was in school. Those pictures are on Instagram right now. So it's like that's what kids are growing up with. And that's
yeah.
weird to us, but to them, that's normal.
Yeah, you're right. So like their sense of reality, their separation from online to real
Doesn't
life.
exist. There isn't a separation. Whereas we know how to separate it because we grew up with it and without it. And
Yep.
we were introduced to it older. But imagine being 3 and your parent hands you an iPad and you know how to get to YouTube and get to the right video and all of that.
Oh my God.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's what they're doing now. So it's
That's
wild.
wild. Yeah. But these kids do need to understand that like this is not for the weak. This is not for kids. This is not for like don't get in no beef. That is not anything you need to be a part of.
I
And
grew up with a
speak
Game Boy Color. I don't know nothing about no beef.
bruh, seriously. The biggest
What
beef you had was like a nigga had the one Pokemon card you wanted, or like some Yu-Gi-Oh shit, or I don't
Yeah, I'm
know, you
like,
know what I
I grew up in the era
mean?
of playing Pokemon Red and trying to trade with my homie who had Pokemon Blue, who had the
For
exclusive
real,
ones
that
that
was
I
the
didn't have.
biggest beef.
That's it.
like I said, they want to emulate things that they ain't ready for and not understanding, you know, getting guns and the outcome because the unfortunate truth about it is like when these young men kill people and then they go to prison, they instantly get a dose of reality. Like they
Hmm.
instantly get a dose of
Mm-hmm.
reality of like you're 17, you're 100 and whatever pounds. You got a man that been in here for 30 years and he like little boys. And you don't have a gun.
And I
You
was gonna
don't
say,
know
right,
how to
you ain't got no
fight.
gun, no knife. You got to use
You
your
don't even know
hands
how
and
to
your
fight.
feet.
You never had a
Ain't
fist
got
fight.
your homies, nothing. Yeah. Shit is real. Very, very real. So yeah, be careful out there. Be careful what you ask for. Also, the girls too. This is not just for the fellas. I was gonna switch it up real quick, but ladies, seriously, if you haven't been following the Diddy case, you need to. If you have any young women in your life, you need to be not because I want you to expose them to something that they're not ready for. I think that you should talk to them though about um yeah, it might sound great in movies and online to get with a guy who has a lot of money or whatever the reason is. But this it can be financial manipulation. You can find yourself doing some crazy shit you had no business doing. And so you definitely need to realize that being with a man is not a career. It's not I don't know what to tell them. It's not a safety net. So I hope that people like listen
Well,
to Jane Doe and they realize that yeah, I don't want to be like her. I don't want to be chasing some man around.
I have mixed feelings on the Diddy thing, because I do have daughters, and the thing that I say, and some of the things, if the things that they said Diddy did were true, then he should be held accountable for everything he did illegal, and he should get everything that he got coming to him. But the thing that kind of throws me off sometimes is like, where's the accountability from the women? Like I
That's what I'm saying.
like,
No, that's
like
literally what I'm trying to say is
yeah,
that
like it's
y'all really thought dating him was going to be your safety net. You thought that now I'm just going to do these freak offs and I'll live happily ever after. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. This woman is talking about how she did everything that he wanted. She could barely pay her bills. She couldn't afford to put furniture in her goddamn house. She's over here living from pillar to post, begging him to pay for a goddamn light bill. I mean, what the fuck? You have a child.
and this is the thing that I don't be getting though. That'd be kind of weird to me. It's like, and that's why I kind of lean into what I'm saying about as I spew my lessons in morality into my daughter. Your morality has to stand above everything, because the point I'm making is, for that Jane Doe, you have 50 Cent baby mother who was
That was
getting,
Jane Doe.
but how was she not having money when 50 Cent going on saying how much he giving her in child support? So where's your money
Her
going?
lifestyle, her fucking lifestyle. I don't understand why. I mean, I can tell you. I'm sure she got a $10,000 a month rent. I'm sure she put $1,000 on her hair, on her head, another $400 on her hands and toes. I mean, yeah, it's lifestyle and it's ridiculous.
So that kind of goes back to what I told Shane a little bit earlier in the show, which is these things happen when you prioritize money over everything. So you want to live a certain lifestyle, and it's not good enough that your child's father is a millionaire and he's giving you whatever he's giving you in child support, which should be enough for you to live on. So that's not enough. So now you're saying you're participating in these freak shows and having sex with 4, 5, 6 different men in one day to pay your $10,000 rent. Like, cut it out. Or sometimes I just want us to be honest. Like, in my mother's generation, they had a word for you. You're a whore, and you're a whore. Like, you're selling pussy.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think some people, yeah, I think some people were victims of him, and other people, I'm
And I
like,
and I'm and I'm
I
and I'm
don't
only,
know.
I'm only specifically talking about 50 Cent baby mama. Now,
Yeah, same.
whatever's going on with him and Cassie and some of these other people, I can understand. Um, I can understand, but I do have a different sentiment because I'm a former athlete, right? And I've seen so many athletes get their careers derailed because a woman lied about getting sexually assaulted. And we never get a consequence from that. And the point that I'm saying is, I would never make a woman do anything outside of her consent. But the thing that be weird to me is when you go into things with bad intentions. Like if you went into fuck Diddy because Diddy is a millionaire and you thought you could take advantage of him and help him boost your career. And the truth that I'm saying is, everybody's been hearing these stories about Diddy for years, whether that's his bisexuality, he's super freaky. All I'm saying is, at what point do you say, hey, this is partially on you? Because when we see these stories every year about people jumping in the lion's den at the zoo, or they jump in the alligator pit at the zoo and they get killed, people don't be like, man, let's kill the alligators. At some point, you put yourself in a situation. And that's something I would tell my own daughter. If it's a man that has been known to beat women up, and my daughter decides to date him and he beats her up, I'm going to ask her, why the fuck did you make that decision? That's his character.
Right. It doesn't make
Now
it right.
that doesn't
Nah.
mean that I'm not gonna go fuck the guy up or
Right.
do whatever I gotta do to avenge my daughter, but I'm still gonna ask her, At what point are you making a good decision?
Yeah. And there's also been times where we've heard of women telling their family members, yeah, this happened to me, he assaulted me or whatever. And then they do something to old dude, they go to jail
Oh,
or something where she
or even worse, the guy is super charming or whatever the case may be around the family, and then she might say something, and then the family doesn't even believe her.
Mhm.
yeah, and that's
Like, what are you even talking? What are you even talking about? He's such a sweetheart. I don't ever see
and
you like this
those
or like that.
situations are very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I'm just speaking from the pretense of a father. I wouldn't give
Yeah.
it how nice a guy was. If my daughter said a man put her hands on her, I'm going to investigate. I don't give a shit what he presents to me because I understand what people do behind closed doors can be two different things. Same thing same thing with a woman. You know, if my son girlfriend seems like a great, and I don't have a son, but if his girlfriend seems like a great person, but then he's telling me like, oh man, she's very this and she's very that, I think you owe your children to be able to look into it. What I'm saying is, when it comes to Diddy, usually justice is served. If he's going to go to jail, he's going to go to jail and he's going to do the time he has to do. But all I'm telling women is, hey, like, make better decisions and let's be honest, stop chasing money and fame.
Exactly. Exactly. I think you said it perfect, honestly. I'm
Yep.
gonna leave it at that. Now we can talk about some other type of beef. I know I was going to talk about funk flex and all that kind of stuff, but I think that this is a little bit spicier. So DJ Head was talking to Exhibit, and Exhibit revealed that DMX's, like his hit "Party Up" was actually originally a diss aimed at Corrupt. And everybody's in shambles because nobody, well, not, maybe some people knew, but a decent amount of people had no clue at all. And it also got them digging into like what started the beef, what song, was it from Corrupt that shook the table and that got DMX all upset. The song is actually called, hold on, Calling Out Names. And apparently, Corrupt dropped it because he had found out that Foxy Brown had gotten with DMX somehow, and he was salty about it. So basically, he was like, "Hey, go, you can keep her, and fuck you and your crew." And then it caused DMX to make his hit. But I can't lie, like y'all gotta go back and listen to the song. I mean, Shane's already a huge fan, so Shane probably knows all the lyrics. But y'all gotta go back because Corrupt was not holding back. Like I wasn't expecting this, to be totally honest. I did not expect him to go off like this. I'm trying to find a good one. Um, so he said, just come to the West Coast and get stripped down, beat to death and stripped all over a bitch. Now it's 50 MCs that ain't worth shit. Get your ass kicked 50 times, beat to 10 cent. I love New York, but the niggas that represent, y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit, New York. They acting like a new bitch, New York. What else did he say? Oh, he also said the only thing I like that ride rough is Eve. And all the rest of y'all niggas who ride rough get these. um, he said, I'm gonna tell you one more time, and I ain't gonna say it again. Krupp said it, motherfucker, from beginning to end. Your salamander ass, caterpillar ass, motherfucker, motherfucker, fake ass, buster ass, fake killer motherfucker. If it wasn't for the West, these rap niggas wouldn't need a vest for their chest. Quoted from a fucking homie for my fucking homie ex. So yeah, that's just a little something something. Sorry, I know that sounded
He's
super
got,
duper white. But I
he
just had
was
to read
he
it
was
off.
shooting at pretty much anybody affiliated with Def Jam at this point. So some more of the bars is he says, and I think you went over this part a little bit, but I love New York, but the niggas that represent y'all ain't shit, New York. They acting like a bitch, New York. Buckshot, Noriega, Jigga, cool. Cannabis, Wu Tang, my niggas, cool. Def Jam, but fuck Ja Rule. Irv Gotti, I can't wait for Raekwon to break food. Trying to sign Daz, nigga, Daz will sign you. And when you hit the West, this is what we gonna do. Get y'all niggas, slap y'all niggas like bitches, dipping through the hood on switches. I just bought me a new Cadillac last week with a new bitch since my old bitch tweaked. So yeah, that's all references to Foxy. But yeah, I guess he was either dating Foxy Brown or whatever at the time. And she, judging by this song, allegedly cheated on him with DMX. So
Mm,
there you go.
yeah.
But yeah, he shouted out Exhibit and RBX from the West Coast on the song as well. So that's how they got kind of tied in. I think Exhibit did the hook on that,
He
actually, if
did.
I'm not. Yeah, yeah.
I was surprised when I went to go listen to it. I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember him saying that part in the goddamn story. So it was just interesting. It was like, oh, so you kind of were in the beef a little bit. So yeah, that was interesting. But the song is actually pretty good. I wasn't mad at it. I was like, okay, I'm not mad at all. But I mean, obviously, doesn't come close to like how massive of a hit Party Up was for DMX. I mean, this nigga went absolutely crazy. And it's hilarious because now it totally makes sense who he was talking to. Because it was like, okay, who really got you so pissed off, so riled up that you would literally be talking, like, literally be like, saying, like, y'all gonna make me lose my fucking mind. So, yeah, this shit is hilarious. Now that you know who he's shooting at, it's actually pretty funny. One of the lines, let me see, what are my favorite lines from it? Let me see. Um, I guess one of the first lines he says is, "How the fuck you gonna cross the dog with some bum shit?" I there go the gun click 911 shit all over some dumb shit. Ain't that some shit? Y'all niggas remind me of a strip club because every time you come around, it's like I just gotta get my dick sucked. And I love when he goes into and who the fuck you think he talking to? Because now I realize he really is talking to somebody. Like he's really busy because that's definitely something you say when you're in the middle of an argument with somebody. Like who the fuck do you think we're talking to? Um,
Right.
and then he also said, he said, but I'm not him, I Slim. So is that him like trying, is that him? Is that literally somebody named Slim? Or are we just is that a reach?
Could
Yeah,
have
that's
been
probably
Eminem.
just,
Could have been Eminem reference, but that's too
Right?
early, right?
and I doubt that one.
Yeah, that's why I
Slim,
said it's too
Slim,
early.
I,
Slim is actually like a slang term from Philly, though.
yeah.
So it
Okay,
could have
okay.
been that
Mm.
So
too.
okay,
And
Yeah.
Corrupt is from Philly originally. So that's actually kind of a
and
little,
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
okay, so that's just how he's talking. Okay. Got you. So he's shooting at him, but he's like, I'm gonna use your vernacular to do it.
mm-hmm.
Got you. Okay, cool. And then he said, yeah, you just said you're gonna find yourself buried next to someone else, and we all thought you loved yourself, but that couldn't have been the issue, or maybe they just saying that now because they miss you, and he goes on and on and on. I can't remember the what line though that he mentions her. But yeah, and I love my baby mother. I'll never let her go. Now, is Foxy Corrupt's baby mom's?
No,
Maybe. No. Oh,
no,
okay.
Yeah.
she's not though. This is now. I'm gonna tell y'all something I had heard years and years and years ago, and when you recite the lyrics, it actually make me believe it a little more because I had heard years ago because I've obviously been doing music since I was 14. I had heard that the song "Party Up" was about corrupt, but then somebody else actually told me that part of the "Party Up" song was about Eminem. And when I went and
Mm.
listened to the Slim and I love my baby mama, I never let her go. I was like,
Him.
then y'all gotta remember this. Y'all don't remember Eminem verse on DRE when he said, "Fuck you and them loud ass barking dogs." It was like a lot of like back
Mm.
and forth where I'm like, damn, was they dissing each other? Like
And
it was
back in
weird. It
those
was
days, there was a lot of that. Like there was so many subliminal little lines back and forth that you listen back years later, and you're like, oh shit, he was talking about that nigga. Like just little shit.
He
Like when
even said,
Biggie
sorry.
said, why lie, throw bleach in your eye. Very just seems like a just random ass bar, right? That just rhymes with some shit. Raekwon responds to him and he says, on top of all that beef with White, taking bleach out, trying to throw it in my eyesight. He said that on Only Built for Cuban
Mm.
Links.
now come on now, what about this?
And he says beef
And
with
I
White. which is Frank
I
White.
just
So it's like,
I just happen to be really into the shit, so I would like pick up on shit. But a lot of people don't realize that "I Love Your Girl" by Dream and Lollipop is two diss songs.
yep.
It's one of my favorite
What?
Dream
Both of those
songs ever
songs are
too.
about both of those songs are about Nivea.
They have the same baby mama. They was dissing each other.
Nivea. That's
I
it.
did
Yep.
hear, you
Lollipop
know what?
was a
I
diss
remember that rumor. I remember that rumor.
Hmm.
I actually
over
remember that. Now that you bring
Nivea.
that up, I remember that rumor.
Damn, she's that bitch. Cause
And if
what?
you really listen to "I Love Your Girl," that is a real diss. Like he was really like, I'm like,
Oh, he was
oh,
shooting.
he was
Whole
shooting.
song is
Yeah.
that whole song is him shooting.
I thought that nigga was dirty macking. He was not. He was sending shots. That's crazy. But it totally makes sense now. That's wild. Wow, we gotta clip that up. Because I'm sure a lot of people are learning that for the first time. That's insane. Okay, and then actually going off of Twan's like his initial thought about Slim Shady, Eminem. Now it makes sense this line when DMX says, "Y'all niggas is characters, not even good actors." That makes a lot more sense. Then he says, "What's going to be the outcome? Let's add up all the factors. You whack, you're twisted, your girl's a hoe, you're broke, the kid ain't yours." I think that there was some shit where people did think that Eminem's girl, because I think she was like supposed to be out here in the streets, like on drugs or something like that. So they thought maybe it wasn't his
And
kid.
Or because Eminem does have a
I don't know
daughter
how true it is.
that Kim
That's just the
had.
thing.
I was gonna say Eminem does have a daughter that Kim had with another man. Her name
Back.
is Elena.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
two
Elena.
daughters for
Eminem has
sure.
three daughters. He has
Facts.
Haley, he has Whitney, and he has Elena. One of them is a cousin that he adopted. The other one is Kim's other kid that
Absolutely,
Eminem
absolutely.
also
Oh,
adopted. Yeah.
get out.
Hmm.
That now that
So you
makes
broke the
sense.
kid ain't yours.
And
That
everybody
makes more
know.
sense on that level. And everybody know, right?
Now, with that being
Hmm.
said, with Eminem and DMX being two of my favorite rappers, I hope that we're just totally wrong. But when I start listening to the lyrics, I was like, oh, I could see that. Especially if you it's
Uh-oh.
No,
dark
you
and the
cut out,
hell is
bro.
hot.
Oh, there
Something,
you go.
something, something,
Okay.
and fuck you in them loud ass motherfucking barking dogs. Like, and I'm like, damn, like that's kind of ironic.
You know what's
Hey, but
funny?
whatever it was,
I
though,
remember that bar
whatever it was,
too.
it got squashed quick because they ended up doing music together. They teamed up against Ja Rule together. So 50, Eminem, and DMX, they did that "Go to Sleep, Bitch," die, motherfucker, that Ja Rule diss. So they cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to pivot on another note, when I hear a lot of people say that Eminem only dissed pop stars, how do they be forgetting his beef with Benzino and Ja Rule and Cannabis? Like, how do they be forgetting all this? Like,
Because they
yo, he
weren't
dissed
good
a
rappers. That's why. Because they couldn't back then it
I'm just
almost
standing
felt like
up.
if you had to beef with Eminem, it almost felt like you had to be as good as him, and nobody was as good as Eminem. So it almost felt like if Eminem was dissing another rapper or just whoever, it was like, well, what are you gonna say to him?
Yeah,
And the
I
people who
understand
were
that.
as good as Eminem, he was cool with.
No
Jay-Z,
facts.
Nas, no, nobody else was even close, really, except for them two. Like it
And
was,
Yeah,
even
I
those
if
were
just
you
the
want to,
three. As
and even
far,
if you want to throw cannabis and Benzino in there, the other part factor of it is, and just facts of life, they weren't as popular as Eminem.
oh
right?
facts, facts, facts.
So they weren't going to beat him out of that, even if the raps were better than his.
No facts. And
Mm.
as big as an Eminem fan that I am, and I'm a huge Eminem fan, and I'm a black man that grew up in inner city Detroit that will gladly admit I was a huge Eminem fan.
Let's
But
go, Twan. Let's go. Let
I
them
will
know.
also admit that yeah, him being white definitely had a lot to do with his overall popularity because white people are the majority in this country. That's
Of
just
course.
basic math. It's just it's just basic math. But when it comes to people acting like people wasn't playing Eminem. That is a bold-faced lie. I am from
Right.
West 7 Mile in the
And I
Lodge
can debunk
Freeway.
it. I can debunk that whole argument real quick too. If Eminem is, because this is the argument that people make. They don't say he's not good. They just say he's decent for a white dude, and the only reason he's as big as he is because he's white. And I say, okay, what other white rapper before or after Eminem has been as big as Eminem? Name one.
No, there isn't one. I mean, that's just the
Not
truth.
none.
There isn't one.
Exactly.
And the thing that to me that they
It's
they
like there's
kind
got
of
to be
slip
something
on.
else then. If
Yeah,
it's, you know what I'm
they
saying?
kind of slip on Eminem with me is Eminem is going to go to the Songwriters Hall of Fame if he's not already in there. He's an incredible songwriter. Like they overskipped that part. Like yes, a lot of his songs were zany and it was just a bunch of like cleverness and words put together, but he has a ton of songs that are incredible songs. And that's neither here nor there because I don't discredit anybody. There's a lot of incredible MCs. But Eminem's in my personal top 10 MCs ever. That's just my personal. But at the end of the day, if people don't in there,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, speaking of MCing, because I want to touch on this Rum Nitty freestyle. Um, I'm happy to see the resurgence of freestyling on the radio and like that format because
Andre 3000, Tupac, like a
he
completely.
just came back in.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's they
I was
froze and
driving.
popped
I'm
up.
sorry. What I
No, you
said
straight.
was I love being my age because I've seen 40 years of hip hop. So
Yeah.
so when I think of my top 10 MCs, it's a huge variance. Like I have Tupac number one, but I also have Future in my top 10 MCs ever. I have Andre 3000 in there. I have Eminem in there. So it's like such versatility. That's
Yeah.
kind of why I love hip hop, man.
Shout
Like,
out to you for having Future in your top 10.
oh,
Yeah.
fact. How
Yeah.
can you not? You
Love
know what?
that.
Let me not say how can you not have him in there. But if you really listen to Future and his impact, come on, man.
Yeah.
Future's
Off
that
impact
guy.
alone, you can't argue it. You can't argue it at all. But what do you think though, Twan, about like the new, not new because they've been doing it forever, but it feels like a resurgence of like radio freestyles, like niggas just getting on the radio with Flex or with
I
Sway
think
or
it's
with
dope.
whoever. I love it because it's
I
like
think it's dope.
I think that's the only thing that keeps lyrical rap popular.
And even if you're not that lyrical, it keeps the science of hip hop alive. Like you got to be able to hear a beat, and even if you wrote the lyrics to a different beat, you got to be able to bend those lyrics now to this new beat and this new BPM. It's the science of the shit that I love. Like just being able to go. And some people are way better at freestyling than other people, but you know that's just what it is, and that's what I'm saying. Like I really break the shit down like that because I look at hip hop from so many different levels. Like I take a guy like Cameron, who a lot of people I don't think really understand how talented he is. Like
I
he's
didn't for a long
extremely.
time and I figured it out later and I was like, oh no, Cam is nice.
They
Like,
don't go look at how many hit songs Cameron wrote. If people really want to know how nice he is. And
mm,
speaking of Future, how many people know what Beyonce song Future wrote?
Come on
Does
now.
the
Come
come
on
on,
now.
come on now?
One of the most popular Beyonce
The
songs
one of the
ever.
most popular Beyonce. Do you know what it is? Do anybody know the song?
I
I know
know,
you
I know
do,
exactly what
obviously.
you're talking about. I know
What
exactly what
Ooh,
you're
about
talking
I'm.
our other two?
I don't, Eric, or Allie, do you know?
Is it It can't be. No, Single Ladies was written by like the
about. No,
Nope.
Dreams team and
you're a
someone
little
else.
early. You're a little
I'll
early.
give you one more guess, and you'll
Okay,
probably be surprised when I tell you.
I need to guess. A
I'll give you
hint.
a hint. I'll give you a hint.
Give me a hint.
Jay Z's on the record.
Okay. No, not upgrade you. Not upgrade you.
Nah, not
Nah.
upgrade.
Jay
It's
Z's
a
on it.
it's a huge song.
Is it off the
Think
Carters?
about what album is it on? I think it is on the
Irreplaceable.
Unmasked.
Carters.
Oh wait, no, you said Jay's on it. Never mind.
I was gonna say, is it the Carters? Is it on the Carters? Is it on that album?
I think it is on. Yeah, it is on that
Ape
album.
Shit?
It
Is
is
it
on
Ape
that album.
Shit? That the
Nah.
crowd going it?
Uh,
No. Damn.
What
I
is
don't
it,
know.
Eric?
I don't know.
I'm gonna
I
just
actually
tell you.
think it was
Yeah,
just a single.
I'm gonna just tell you. It might have been just a single, but I think it may have been a bonus song on the Carters. I could be wrong about that, but "Drunken Love."
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. That did cross
That
my
makes
mind, but I
sense.
was like, ain't no way. Are you serious? You wrote Drunken Love for her?
He wrote
Think about
Drunken
that.
Love.
Think about how that. Think about how that hook goes, and then think about Future singing it too. We
Exactly.
be all
What?
night,
Think, think, think
all
Is
about
night.
he?
Like that's all Future. All of that's
think
Future.
about think about the cadence and think about Future.
That makes so much sense.
We get all it's all Future.
Hmm. I mean,
Even
the
even how her
concept,
verse is,
I
even how her
totally
verse goes, even
believe.
that's like Future.
Yeah.
So I'd be saying that to say, you never know how talented when these people get in their zone. And that's kind of how I even felt, about the whole Drake thing. And people was kind of dissing Drake for like having writers. And I'm like, but you also know how many hit songs Drake wrote for other people, right? Like
And delivery is
these,
important. Like we got to
Yeah,
keep that
delivery
real
is
too.
huge.
Like delivery is important. That's why Dr. Dre is a successful rapper, is because he could deliver shit that the people writing for him couldn't necessarily deliver it like Dre could. Like this
that's
is a
why
Dre
Quentin Miller never
line.
worked out.
You say that one more time.
That's why Quentin Miller never worked out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't deliver it. He couldn't deliver
Yep.
it.
Can't
He
deliver.
wrote a bunch of shit for Drake that we ended up loving. That ended up on a tape
And
that he really needed to drop at the time that he needed it. And if Quentin would have dropped that same shit, we wouldn't have heard it the same way.
We wouldn't have gave a fuck.
absolutely not. And, and,
No.
and, and to and to expound on what you're saying, I also think that's killing the industry. I think Instagram is killing the industry in this sense. You have talented people who really should be writers, but they're good enough writers that they get a slight dopamine release from the music they release as artists, but they really should be giving that music to other people. Like I know
Mm.
so many people who I'll be like, man, that song would be a hit if you gave it to somebody else. Like
Yep.
you wrote a hit song, but you're just not a hit artist. You're
I'll tell
not
you,
it.
my unpopular opinion about the 808s and Heartbreak album is that it's a good album. I just wish Kanye didn't sing it. I wish he wrote all of those songs for somebody else. If somebody else had sang that project, it would have been fire to me. And I know that's
Yeah.
unpopular.
808 and
Most people
Heartbreaks
like
is
that album, but
probably
I hate it.
808 and Heartbreaks is probably the last. That might be the last Kanye album I listened to. Like I used
Twisted
to love
Fantasy was good. That came out after, but
I used
I
to
hated
love Kanye
808s.
West till he got a little too different for me. Like
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
we've talked Kanye to death on here. That's a combo for another day.
Yeah,
For
yeah. No, I'm
real.
not bringing up none of the
For
bullshit.
real.
I'm just saying sonically, 808s and Heartbreak would have been way better if he gave that to T Pain or gave
Oh,
that to
100%. 100%.
you get what I'm
I like
saying?
that.
Like keep
Yeah.
every song the exact same. Just have somebody else sing it. I don't want to hear
That would have been
Kanye
crazy.
singing. Except
Yeah.
Heartless. Heartless was
There's a
good.
few songs on that album to where
some
he
of them are hard.
yeah,
Some of
some
them
of
are
those
hard.
songs where
Hell yeah.
he figured out his auto tune with the sonics of the song, so it didn't sound bad. But I
Hmm.
100% agree with you, Shane.
I don't I don't know if
If
y'all
Kanye gives that album to a T Pain at the time or somebody like that, that album is 10 times better than what it was.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
don't know if y'all addressed this, and I'm pretty sure y'all did because it was such a hot topic throughout the last year. First of all, let me say I'm one of the only, not the only people, but I'm one of the rare people that absolutely love Kendrick Lamar and I love Drake. Like I love both artists. Like I appreciate them for what they do that is vastly different from each other. But I'm saying that to say, and I'm only saying this because for Father's Day, me and my 8-year-old, we rode around the city. I took her to Belle Isle and we rode around Belle Isle and I was listening to GNX and I just couldn't believe it. Drake fans was trying to say that album was trash. I'm like, are these motherfuckers out their mind? Like
I love that album.
that album is fucking incredible, Shane. Like, what
That's
the
my
They're the
heck?
second
same.
favorite Kendrick album at this point.
They're the same people who are going to turn around and tell you that that Cardi and Drake collab album was good,
Bruh.
Right.
Oh
Or that it
yeah,
was
okay.
really a collab. This shit
or
was
that it
barely
was
a
even really a
collab.
collaboration album. Yeah, like
Yeah, that
Fuck.
definitely
yeah,
Because
that
nah,
that
didn't
nigga
like
feel
had
like a
his
I'm.
songs,
collab
you
album.
had
But
your songs. What the fuck? Shit was
yeah,
weird.
that felt like a Party Next Door featuring a little bit of Drake.
Okay,
Yeah,
well let me
dude.
ask y'all this then. How do y'all feel about the game and a few West Coast artists feeling a way about I guess they did like top West Coast artists or something, and Kendrick was named like number one, and some West Coast artists were feeling a way about that. Like they really wasn't digging that.
I
So
mean,
Uh,
this was my understanding of it. My understanding of it was they didn't fuck with the list because there were certain key people that were left off of it that
Okay,
they
so
felt like,
it was overall, not because Kendrick was
yeah,
one.
yeah, it
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
just
Okay,
yeah.
Kendrick.
Because Game redid the list and he put Kendrick above himself still. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he put
okay,
himself at number 5, and I think he put Kendrick at number 3, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe number 4.
One
It
more
was
caveat.
Tupac was 1, Tupac was 1, Cube was 2, Snoop was 3. I think he put Kendrick at 4, and then he put himself at 5.
hmm.
And I was
this
like,
is
I
the part
agree with
that's
that.
One
this is
more
the part that's
caveat I
crazy.
want to one more caveat I want to add to that list too that you brought up. In that list that you originally brought up, it was a complex list, and they only brought up 50 artists. Game redid the West Coast list, and he did 100 artists.
Mm.
And with the complex list, um,
I'm gonna
I
be
want to say
completely
they left
honest.
off Tupac because they said he wasn't a California artist because he was born from New York.
Yeah,
They left off,
I kind of
I think,
feel that though. Like Pac kind of lived a few different places, but he did
yeah,
rep. He did rep California, so it's like if that's
right.
what
That's
they're
what's
saying, then that's
confusing.
what they're saying.
I
Yeah.
mean, maybe you have to do it by eras with Tupac, but the Death Row era was clearly West Coast Pac. There's
I'll
nothing
tell
East
you who
Coast
gets
about none of
underrated
that.
to me though,
Yeah, like what were we talking about?
But
and they
then,
had him
so I
number
think they
three.
left Easy off because he didn't write. So I don't think he was on the list, and a lot of people felt a certain type of way about that. Like, yeah, but based off the influence, he still got to be there. I think Dre, similar case, you know, like, oh, he didn't write, so he can't be on the list. And people was like, no, you got to have Dr. Dre on the list. Like that's so that was more so the uproar. It was like y'all taking people off that West Coast niggas wouldn't even take off. Like we count them, so you can't just take them off.
It
Like
was
Why?
com- it
Why
was
do?
you know what it was? It was Complex's criteria. It was whatever criteria they based it off of. Game said, fuck all that, and
fuck that. Yeah.
um, yeah, and I'm doing it my
No,
way,
I
and made a
respect. I
better list in
respect.
my opinion.
I respect Game for that because it's kind of like shut the fuck up, complex. But I do be feeling like I don't know. I be feeling like Snoop Dogg be getting kind of underrated a little bit. Like I don't really be getting it.
You
Like
know what it
to
is
be
with Snoop?
honest, and I'm about to probably make. No, I don't even think it's this egregious what I'm about to say. Snoop Dogg is underrated and on so many levels to me because Snoop Dogg, and it's not even close to me, is by far the most popular rapper ever.
I
Ever.
agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
I agree. I don't even think that's debatable.
And it'd be like, damn, why they be shitting on Snoop Dogg? Like,
You know what I think it is? I think it's a couple things. One, Snoop was never looked at as a lyricist.
no, he's not really super lyrical.
You know
No.
what I'm saying? He was looked at for his flows and he was looked at for being
Okay.
cool.
Okay. Now, but I
Those
say
were
this
the
though.
go
This
ahead.
the thing I say. You're right. He's not looked at as a crazy lyricist. But is Jay-Z looked at like a crazy lyricist? And I'm a huge
Yes.
Jay-Z fan.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I don't really get because when I look at like lyricism, I don't really and Jay-Z's top three in my book. But I never pegged him at like this crazy lyricist like Nas. Like Nas is way more lyrical than Jay-Z to me. But
Here's my
So I think
Jay-Z,
they're two different types of lyricists. I think Nas is better at painting pictures and being really vivid with details and stories and stuff like that. Whereas Jay is more
To me,
of
Jay
a
is just
he'll
a
say
great
one
rapper.
line. Yeah, like Jay will say one line that you can interpret three different ways. That's what he's good at. You know
But
what I'm
I'm gonna
saying? Like
say
he'll
this
say
back
one
to the
thing
Snoop.
like, I'm laying on the Learjet. And it's like, oh, Aaliyah's jet and Learjet. And this, like, you get what I'm
But
saying?
this is
Like, people can do
I
that
get
with
what you're
Jay
saying.
shit.
I mean, Jay-Z
So,
top 3 artists of all time for me. But what I'm saying is,
mm-hmm,
went back to Snoop Dogg, because I had this debate with somebody a couple months ago, because we were talking about verses in
mm-hmm,
20 songs, just 20 songs.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's another rapper who got 20 better songs than Snoop Dogg.
But, okay, so take those same 20 against whoever you pick and then take the beats away and make them rap a cappella at each
See,
other.
we can't take the beats away. We
But you,
can't.
but
But
that's
when
what
we're
I think
talking
the
about
strike is
straight
against
lyric,
Snoop.
when you're talking about straight lyricism, the beat doesn't matter.
So that's, and I think that's the strike
Well,
against
see,
Snoop. I
I'm
think
gonna
that's
tell
why
y'all
he
where
doesn't get mentioned, because if you take the beat away,
I'm gonna
it's
tell you where I
basically the
slightly
same thing on
disagree
every
with
song.
y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all where I slightly disagree with y'all. And I might be in the minority with this, but I tell this people all the time. Like, I appreciate Nas, but he ain't that high on my list because his beats suck to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like a lot of Nas beats. So it's like I don't care how good of a lyricist you are. Like, I wasn't feeling a lot of the beats. So it's like I think all that kind of goes. And then I just think when it comes to rapping and flowing, it's, we all get kind of biased, right? But I be feeling like, okay, like I'll give you a perfect example. You know who's an incredible fucking rapper to me? Like when it comes to rapping and just flowing, and I mean incredible. Rick Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
There's
yeah.
not too many people I know that can rap as good as Rick Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Like just naturally flowing over music. So that's why I'd be like, it's biased to all of it. Like, because nobody mentions Rick Ross as a top anything.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I
Here's my
think if
counter argument for
you,
that.
if
Oh,
it,
go
it
ahead.
depends on the categories, like Eric was saying, like as far as the criteria, I mean, like if you're rating like songwriting ability, then absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I think Snoop, Ross, they're very high on the list. But if you're talking just strictly bars, then that's a different conversation. If you're talking, you see what I'm saying? Like it goes,
No, I
there's
get
just
it. I get
mad
what you're
different ways
saying.
that you could go with it. Go ahead,
And
Eric. You
No, I
look
and
like
get
you were
it.
trying to say something.
here's my argument for it. It's what we were talking about last week with Lil Wayne's new album. If you take all of the production that Lil Wayne was just rapping on for that new album, and you put him behind some executive production, give him some Manny Fresh beats, give him some maybe some Metro, maybe some street runners. Like it's just people who he used to mess with on the regular, Cool and Dre, like just whatever. Give him those beats over instead of the beats that he rapped on this album. I guarantee you, we look at this as um two totally different albums. A lot of people do not like this new album, and a lot of the things that I'm hearing from the complaints is that it's not Wayne that's bad. Wayne still sounds fine, but it's the production and the beats that he chose to rap over. So I think to go in with your argument, Swan, I think the beat does matter, but at the same time, when we're just strictly talking about just the lyricism of it, that's why you got to take away the bars from that Carter album. Because if you just listen to that Carter album and it's just the lyrics, I don't think people would say that Wayne has lost a single step. But because of the production choices that he chose to rap on, people are now saying, "Oh, this album's trash. Oh, I don't even know why you put this out. Oh, I don't even know why you named this
Well,
another Carter." You know what I mean? Whereas if
I,
he raps this over different beats, people wouldn't even say that.
I hear what you're saying too, but I also think part of the problem is the things that fans valued at Wayne Peak, a lot of these fans don't value anymore. So like Lil Wayne is one of my top 10 rappers of all time as well. But when I go back and I listen to Lil Wayne, the one thing that I will tell you about lyricists sometimes, which is why I think Jay-Z is so high on my list, because he's one of the rare lyricists that could like bar people up, but his whole song will be cohesive. A lot of, and I'm a huge Wayne fan, a lot of his songs aren't cohesive at all. It'd be like 70 different topics on the song. And it's like,
Yeah,
what is this song about?
nothing.
Yep, that's a
It's
fact.
like you're just rapping.
Yeah.
And I get it. You're just exercising the art of rapping. And I think, some people are over that. Like they be wanting to hear something, and or they be wanting to feel something, or then they just want to be a vibe. Like a lot of these new artists that I don't understand, more power to them though, more success to them, but I don't get it. Like I literally, and I wasn't even trying to be facetious or funny, but I was in Atlanta, and again, I'm 40, so I'm older. So I'm asking anybody 30 and under, what's like, why is Playboy Cardi so big? I don't get it. And no disrespect to him. I wish any man nothing but success, but I just don't get it.
I asked the same
Oh, I
Especially
question
can
about
tell you.
after,
NBA YoungBoy.
Me
yeah.
too. Me too.
Yes,
I was like,
especially him.
I
Especially
don't
him.
understand. But you
Hmm.
know,
See, I ain't gonna lie
nigga shit
though.
though, it's a
Like,
bit, you know what I'm saying?
like,
We
like my family being from Louisiana and in between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, I understood why NBA YoungBoy was so big, and it don't really got nothing to do with the music. It's about what he represents. Like
that makes sense.
them little niggas see themselves in NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah.
Like they see themselves. Like that's me. Like
Yeah.
Hmm.
I could be him. So it's
Got
like
it.
so it's an energy thing with NBA YoungBoy. Like, he's a very honest rapper. Like that nigga doesn't hide the fact that he has herpes. He doesn't hide anything. Like he's just outwardly out there, and that nigga got 10 baby mamas and doesn't hide the fact he has herpes.
Yeah, that shit
Like,
is wild.
No, he doesn't.
like,
I
No,
don't give
he
a
does not.
fuck.
So why you
that's kind of what I'm saying. I think they love the fact that he don't give a fuck.
do you
Like,
have any artists that we need to be checking for, that people need to be checking for that don't have herpes? That you know what I'm
yeah, I mean,
saying? You
it's a lot of dope artists because I just listen to a lot of younger artists, man, all over the nation, man. I name a few that I know are incredible, man. It's a female girl group in Detroit that are very versatile. They're both in their early 20s. Named Y3K. They were both solo artists. One of them name was Yenum, the other one name was Kayla Wine. They're starting out. They're dope.
I know
It's
who you're
another
talking about.
artist it's another artist that's from Alabama, but he was raised in Atlanta, named TTOKT. He's actually signed to Kodak Black. He's one of the most talented artists I know. Then his partner, named DK, who happens to be incarcerated right now, is another incredible artist. Um, it's an artist that's kind of big, named Low Shimmy. I be digging Low Shimmy shit. His shit is pretty smooth. Um, Yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot of people. Like, it's an artist from Detroit named Samuel Sabash. If y'all just like, kind of like, I don't even want to say lyrical, but like just check Samuel Sabash out. Like, I think you'll really fuck with him, Shane. Like, he's like on some lyrical musical shit. Like, he's dope.
right.
I
Like,
fuck
yeah,
with him. I first heard of him through Babyface Ray. Yeah, he's fire.
yeah, yep. He rolled with Babyface Ray. Yep. Sam
Yep.
Shabazz is crazy hard. Um,
He has a
damn.
wild ass flow, but
No, yeah,
but he can
his
rap. But he
flow
can rap though.
flow
But
is
he can rap.
different. His flow is mad different. I'm trying to think who else. I'll be having
That's a
brain freeze
lot.
because it's a young lady though, and I think her name is Maya something Starks. She's dope as hell. Like hold on, these young. Yes. Okay.
We're
These,
gonna let
these,
Twan get his order. I know he got baby girl in the back, you know what I'm
no,
saying?
yeah,
All
yeah, yeah.
right.
So, but it's like she's really dope. I've been seeing, I've been seeing a lot of dope artists, man. I do think we're getting a lot more artists who are putting a little bit more effort into their music. Not saying that it's a ton more, but I do see some artists here and there who are definitely putting a lot more effort into it, and it's kind of pleasantly surprising me. You know what I mean? What about you guys? Who you? I know you listen to a lot of shit. All y'all do. So,
Shane,
what you on?
I'm laughing at Shane because Shane, I feel like he like just discovered Boss Man D'Lo
I
like within
did.
the past like 2 weeks, and I'm
I
like,
did.
and I'm sitting back here like, nigga, all the stripper hoes love Boss Man D'Lo.
Are you
Because I
just
don't
not you
because
just not listening to D-Lo?
yeah, just now. Cause I don't fuck with new shit at all. Like I'm very stubborn. So like
You
I
want to know
have
why I
to
like
like the
Boss Man?
only reason I listened to him is because he was on a Sauce Walker song and I fuck with Sauce already. So I was like, all right, let me listen to it. And then I was like,
Yeah,
oh no, this nigga's flow is crazy.
I fuck with
You're
Sauce
Same
Walker
funny,
too.
Mexican
bro.
OT. That's how I just started
Sau-
listening to that nigga.
Sauce Walker is one of the most underrated freestylers, rappers, songwriters, period.
He's
Sauce
so
Shout
Walker
out
animated.
is
I
that
love
Sauce.
it.
nigga.
I done found so many niggas through Sauce Walker. Like I just started listening to Mexican OT because of Sauce Walker. So I'm like,
But
all
I'm gonna
right.
tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I like Boss Man D-Lo. I like Boss Man D-Lo because he makes some atypical nigga shit, but it be at a higher frequency. Like he don't rap about killing. He don't like he just rap
Nah.
about
It's
like
all
it be
fun shit.
yeah, like when I listen to him, I feel better. I'd be like, damn, I feel better.
Yeah.
Like his
Be in a
shit be
good
at a higher
mood.
frequency. Like, oh damn, okay.
I'm
Like
like, all
it
right, I can
ain't
go out here and get some money today.
yeah, it ain't like, oh, I gotta go gun this nigga down and do this and do that. Like it's
Gotta
like,
go
yeah, I could get some
sliding.
money, or I could do this,
Nope,
or I
that
could
nigga
do
want
that.
to get some money and see some ass twerk. That's all he want to do.
That's
That's
it.
it.
So then I'm gonna ask you this, Shane. What female artist you think is dope? Don't tell me you misogynist now.
Right now, what female artist do I think is dope? I like
Like
Dochi.
Glow.
Um, I love Glow.
Both
I
of them are
really like
hard.
Glow.
They hard.
I really like Glow.
Yeah,
Like
she's
I
going
listen to Glow,
crazy.
like yeah. Like and her voice
Yeah.
don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's deep enough to where it's
I think her
like I
voice.
know it's a
I actually
girl
think her.
rapping still.
Her voice is
I
my
actually
favorite
think
part
it's.
about her.
I was about to say. I
Yeah.
actually think it's her voice that make her as big as she is.
I agree. Especially her accent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Very
Twan, we
Okay.
sweet.
appreciate you for stopping through today, big dog. You know what I'm
Hey
saying?
man,
Dropping
y'all
off
keep
these
doing
artist
y'all thing, man.
names.
I check y'all show out all the time, man. It's really entertaining and dope, man. Do y'all thing, and hey, more pieces and blessings, man. Let's do
Thank
it.
you.
Yes,
Invite
sir.
me back
That's
whenever,
right.
man. I'm about to get out here and play in the backyard with these girls. So y'all have a good day.
You too.
There you go.
Thank you, thank
Peace,
you,
All
thank
brother.
you.
right, Ali.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, that is it for our conversation. We had a lot that came before the bar today. So make sure that you guys tell us what you think about it. Okay. So if you guys are rocking with the conversation, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop your opinions, your verdicts in the comment section below, especially when it comes to like our debate about who had the bigger peak, Bow Wow or Hove. Or maybe you want to talk about DMX shooting shots. Was it for Corrupt? Was it for Slim? Was it for both? You let us know what you think in the comments, okay? And make sure that you're here every single Monday for another episode of Bar Exam. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. See you later.